morning, boys and girls.
Good morning out there, everybody.
I cannot believe Vincent Kelly is the early bird today. Vincent, how early is it in California? You must have got up out of the bed just to see us this morning. You are hungry. I can tell you're hungry. Anyhow, here comes Sandra, second runner-up, and my brother-in-law and Sissy is third runner-up. Glad to see you guys here this morning. I just got through with my brisk walk with baby girl, got my cup of coffee, and we're raring to go, aren't we? We're ready to go today.
Ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Morgan. Hey, Sinette. Good morning from Denmark. She says it's raining in Denmark. It's bright and sunny here, but cold where we are. But not real cold. Hey, Brother Blue. I'm glad you're on here this morning. And Dee Dee and George. We got to get with you guys for another eat out. Hey, Brother Kessler. Been thinking about you, young man. Hope you're doing well. We'll give you a call later. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Nina, all the way from Virginia.
I just thought about you this morning. I wonder how you doing up there.
Hey, Burn, and Johnny
Lee.
And here comes Jill. She said, hey, Johnson. Y'all. And Joe, I'm glad you're on here with us today. John Greason coming in the house. Hello, James D. And Adele from South Carolina. Good morning to you. And Apostle Norman. Hey, Apostle Norman. We had a great time with you Thursday. And looking forward to another one on this Thursday. There's Marlon. Hey, Marlon. Glad you're here this morning. Vincent said he was up at 5 a.m. praying. Good for you, young man.
I saw you. I was right there with you, man.
Oh, wow, Vincent. That means you're serious about your spirituality and serious about your journey. That's good. Hello, Connie, and hello, Pat. I think we've spoken to everybody this morning already. Are you gonna bring your bell today?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
How are you doing? But actually, we hadn't talked much this morning because we've been busy.
Don't take but 5 minutes or a minute. I'll go to sleep on you. But I'm okay.
I don't think you're gonna hear that. Are you gonna hear that? No. All right, here we go.
That's it for today. Oh, no, all right. Okay, Moselle, we here on the trail. Got the smell of the rabbit in our nose, and our dog is hunting.
Oh, and here comes Diana. Hi, Diana. And Sister Chris is back. Hey. She says she's back.
Yeah.
Thanks to Johnny and Laverne. Well, thank Vernon. Oh, I'm so glad they were able to help you. Yeah, she's back online with us. Sister Chris was off for months and couldn't get on. And we're so glad she was listening in on the phone. So now she's back and raring to go. So what we going to talk about today, you know?
I was talking to you this morning about PTSD
and OCD.
And OCD.
Yeah.
Now, one thing must be noted, that if these symptoms are there, apparently it must be admitted that they are there. And the only way you can forgive them or get rid of them, we were taught years ago that you got rid of them by binding and loosing and cast it out and commanding the darkness to leave.
Right.
But there's another way that I found out that is still the way, and it's by constantly awareing one's self, or awareness through awareness of your true identity as never being anything else but the real self, your infinite self. The more you come into the understanding or the seeing that your real self versus these objects. Your real self is the absolute pure self, you, the Holy Spirit self, or the never ending self.
So what I'm hearing you say, and you can correct me if I'm not hearing it right. But what I'm hearing you say is that the only freedom there is the freedom from the self, the personal self.
A lot of us come and give ourselves into the path because we've come to the end. What has come to the end of itself is the barren of the conviction of, or the saying, or the indication that I am lost. I am not. I'm frustrated with life, which is being used to reroute your attention, and you'll run across a scripture. You might run across a book. You might run across a teaching. You might just wake up one morning and say, "I think I'll inquire of who I am, or who am I."
Yes.
And is there anything else more than what I have been dealing with from point A to point B of this condition self?
Or is there another way to
I'm tired of this.
Yeah. Is there another way to approach what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with? And I think that for most of us, especially those of us who come through religion, Christian religion specifically, our focus has been on a remote God coming to the rescue, to deliver, to change things, to intervene. And that's the perplexing of the oneness, because it's almost like that coming to the rescue is no longer there instantaneously, I should say, because it is a coming to the rescue, but it's now coming through us as coming to the rescue. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but I mean, we're not using sense, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The question is there any other way that I can quiet the mind, or if not quiet the mind, get past it? There are other ways that have tried. If you go after anything else to stop the mind other than the grace of God, or the grace of one's identity coming forth, if you try, we tried many things, and I'm sure there's some people in this earth realm that don't have any problem with it. I don't know who they would be, but there is a PTSD. Yeah, I got it as a PTSD in some area of all of our lives.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, that's right.
OCD is obsessive
compulsive
disorder. Yes.
And the compulsiveness, my point is that if you try to stop this or remedy this through what we've been taught, put the word in you, get more in church, being more teaching, the mind will use it, even to the point of being renewed by the transforming of the word, that all that kind of stuff. All of that is just a Band-Aid to put over top of something that will break it loose again. And even if it does break loose, you must have your awareness or consciousness to the place, or you might want to say you find out that there is no remedy for this outside of waking up to your true identity. That's what I want to say.
So there's a difference in conditioning in reconditioning the conditioned self and letting that conditioned personal self go.
Right, because I know there's a lot of people will come on our class, and many others, the big guys or the guys that's been in for years, or who you believe has really crossed that path. We use them and even this as a point of reference, of inquiry, that maybe we'll say something that'll spark it in you, that I'll never have no more problem with identifying with the mind and separation, individuality. And then there's a great big possibility that you're going to find out through disappointment, something you're going to find out through disappointment that's not going to work.
Okay.
And the key to this thing, I'm telling all of you now, the key to this thing is constantly being aware that you are the Christ self, and you never go in and out and fluctuate back and forth. You must go into this. They call it a constant inquisitioning.
Okay.
A constant inquisitioning and affirming, like some people want to, some of us want to say, by confession, positive thinking. Well, that can become a PTSD
and OCD.
And an OCD confession, and you become monotonous or dominant in that area, and that still is not it's not freedom. It's a trap. It's a trick.
Right. Let me put Sinette's comment up. I want to, maybe that'll slow us down a little bit where we can get out what we were trying to say. She says, I have some great revelation on this. Walking with the dog in the morning and then these worst case scenario, I say to myself, I will not identify as this thought. And I get blown away with the feeling of wholeness and holiness, powerful, safety, abundance, etc. And I let these feelings take over. I notice the old thoughts dimmer or disappear. And the reason why, Sinette, thank you for putting that on there. The reason why is because you have discovered the nature of your mind. A lot of people still have not come to the place of knowing that they are not the thinker. They are not the mind. And so they're constantly living in the realm of the mind, which is the thinker, and it's trying to fix everything. So what you've done is you've put distance there because you now are aware. And that goes back to what you were saying, the awareness of the nature of the mind, and the awareness puts you into inquisitioning, and which is a inquisitioning when she says, I will not identify as this thought. So she had to have at some point a questioning of whether she should go into that thought.
Okay. Here's my point. Here's another point. And that works for you, but let me take you in a little further.
And there's different things that work for different, for those of all of us, yes.
With my dog, and finding out eternal essence, life, whether it be a dog, bird, rat, or squirrel, I look at them and I say, I am the one that is moving as life. Every time my dog take a step, I'm doing that in, through, and by him inside of his suit, which I have no squeamishness. I have no problem with a dog. I'm not saying I am a dog and a dog is me.
But we are.
But we are that essence inside of
oneness,
them.
yes, in oneness.
As like when you cut a tree down, in the life of that tree, you look at it. If you would relax and constantly, with no judgments on your way of seeing or not seeing who you are, you will find a deeper rest than just saying, I'm not the dog.
True.
It's okay where you are, but it's nothing wrong with what you are. It's just that there is a way that I want you to go in. And here's what I'm going to say to you, all of you. There is a way you go in where there is nothing that exists. Not even you or the dog exists outside of infinite
of awareness.
Of awareness.
Infinite awareness.
I'm going to take you deeper, outside of God.
Yes. Can I read some of the things out of this book this morning? This little book has really, really helped me, not so much in giving me new revelation, but it's just clarified things. And this is the same book that I've been showing you guys before, The Naked Now by Richard Rohr. And it reads like this. This is a chapter where he was talking about what does it mean to be awake. He said, this awareness deepens gradually, and I read it on Tuesday night. It deepens gradually on the cellular level, the breathing level, the heart level, the seeing level, the hearing level, the touching level, the aroma level. This is what is being refined in a regular contemplative sit. So it's a contemplative sit. I remember years ago, Watchman Nee, book we read years ago, sit, walk, stand. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He said every believer or Christian starts out in a seated position.
Sit, walk,
Walk, stand.
stand.
You start off in a seated position.
Mm-hmm.
We just went really, really blurry. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
But in that seated position, you start off in the rest, the rest of God, where you're not actually putting forth a whole lot of effort, but actually having the sensation of resting from your labors.
Can you imagine what it would be like carving a piece of wood without carving and uncarved, or a carving of a piece of wood that has already been carved or that does not need to be carved? In other words, you come to the place where I heard some sages say you walk the straight line. And walking the straight line. Can you imagine you start out where you are and never turn but go straight?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that straight path without any turn, you're gonna run into a fence, a car, a dog, or a physical object. When that object is facing you, or you not facing it, it faces your true self. Watch this. This is the same thing the priest had to go through in the Old Testament to get beyond the veil. In the temple, the veil was one piece. The only way he could get through it, from what my mystical understanding is through translation. Yes. So if you walked a straight path, metaphorically speaking, you would have to go through walls, impasses, bad self-image, low self-esteem, PTSD, all of that down through that water, valleys, hill, mountains, till you get all the way around the globe. You don't walk through everything.
Yes.
That's the metaphor that I'm telling you. Now, I'm like you guys. I'm like all of you. I want this thing ended once and for all. I've had enough of it. What if you're having enough of it is the mind asking for something that it can never be obtained?
Yes.
But through constant or inquisition of the true self.
Oliver says the key is constant awareness that I am the Christ
That's
self.
right. That's right.
And then Judy's pointing out, she said, love the teaching, Rev. Bring those thoughts to the light and love. Embrace.
Come on, Miss Judy.
Embrace what we have resisted.
Yes.
Breathe into it. Bring the light into the darkness. Allow love to transcend it. Thank you, Judy. That's so sweet. So beautifully said. The deeper rest, Jill says, is beyond the vastness within. You guys are saying some great things. He says, Sinette says, the oneness feeling and awareness of present, of being everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, Morgan is saying the intensity of the trauma and the frequency of the trigger. Every time I touch water, it's hard to not get overwhelmed by it. And I remember she shared this with me some time back, that she had this issue because of some things she had experienced in the past. So the trigger is there.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where the PTSDs come in, where you're talking, what you're talking
Morgan,
about.
I'm going to tell you something, girl. For several nights, I was in a seemingly dark place. Something was. And I was standing in two places, body of waters. One of the places I was standing was an outlet where water leaves out of a river, and it was blocked, but it was unblocked. And I just got there just in time when the water broke through the blockage. And I wanted to get in the water, which I used to get in the swimming pool long years ago, and I knew I couldn't swim, but I would take a chance on it. It didn't bother me.
I said we can swim just enough to keep from drowning, but
Yeah,
there won't be any water left in the pool when we get through.
And so The next site that I would go to would be an oasis in a place, a small piece of land, and I would have to get off this land. I would have to swim from there to the shore.
Yeah.
But this time, and on that small place, a little island, my higher self, or an angel higher self, or a Christ higher self, appeared to me. I appeared unto myself.
Mhm.
This is the key.
Mhm.
And it was asked of my condition. You know that you can swim.
Yeah.
And in that it said, you know that Christ is real, your true self.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, on my knees. And then it said, go ahead, you can swim. Now, I can take that literally and go out here and jump in a powerful river. That's not what that meant.
Right.
Keep your balance now. Stay grounded.
Right.
Okay. This must be inquired
Yeah.
until it becomes second nature.
Do you actually, and I'm asking you this rhetorically because I know what you do, but do you actually go around asking yourself a question all day?
No.
Okay. When you say inquire, then how does that work for you?
When I started out, there was a voice that said, I love you, Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It went on like that for years until I finally come into what we're teaching now, the course and the books and all that investigation.
Yeah.
It finally came into awareness that that was me down deep inside of Source.
Yes.
Doing that for me.
Okay.
Without an effort.
And it's like the purest you spoken.
Yes.
And I think,
and it still does.
So
I can feel it now. I can sense it now. No struggle, no sweat.
No struggle, no sweat. But getting in touch with that deepest part of you is what the inquiry
Here's
is.
Here's the key. I like what you said, getting in touch. If I may say so, with all due love, you don't get in touch. Mm-hmm. You are the touch getting inquired by itself. It is the touch appealing to that has to feel like it wants to repeat. I got you.
I got you.
What I'm saying?
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying.
That voice was so. I didn't know it. I didn't know what it was.
Let me say it this way. Mm-hmm. So it's like
it does it for you.
And for the last, I say the last 3 days, I'm talking about my own experience now. For the last 3 days, I've had this prayer, even in my sleep, when I'm half asleep, between sleep and awake, in that hypnagogic state, just before you go to sleep or when you're waking up out of sleep. I've heard this prayer inside myself, but I'm not really praying it. But it's actually being prayed.
That's it.
It's not, and it doesn't sound.
It's almost coming like likewise the Spirit also. Likewise the Spirit, your eternal self is doing that.
Yes. So from my teachings, my understanding of the non-dual teachings, it doesn't sound like it's coming from a place of oneness, because it sounds like it's still I'm still remote from that God that I'm connected with. But this is how it sounds. This is what it's been praying. It's been praying it for the last 3 days. Mm-hmm. I know who I am.
Yes.
I understand where you are and who you are as me. I understand that. But can you please give me one sign of evidence of your present status here with me right now? That's been the prayer. I haven't consciously said it, but it's being prayed through me for the last 3 days. Can you please give me evidence of your presence here.
Okay.
That's been been the prayer.
Well, here's a metaphor. I am all of you sitting at one end of the table. When I have questions for you on the other end of the table, in order for that question to be sanctioned and pure, I will ask myself the question on one end of the table, get up and seemingly walk around the table on my left or right, and sit down in the spot of consciousness that is on both ends and answer myself, yes.
Now, you do realize in spirituality, they would say the higher self is speaking to the mind or the conditioned self.
It could be.
And I'm not sure. I don't want to analyze it too much, but I do know something is being prayed. And it's not me praying it.
Yeah. And you know what I like about this? Spirituality can become a PTSD
or an OCD.
And meditation can become that too. The balancing thing.
Any spiritual practice can become.
Let me say it to you like this, sweetheart. And this will bring it to the.
And then I've got to go to some of these comments.
This is going to get you. This trust that you want to trust God with is His trusting through you. As you. Hold on tight. My mama said, hold tight, Buddha Racket Shaka. He said, hold on tight to this range and hold on tight to this mule. Because you're going to find out that the mule that you're riding is Christ. And the Christ that is sitting on the mule is the Christ. And the one that's saying this deep from the echoes of your eternal self is the same one. I'm telling you, you covered from left to right, top to bottom, rooter to tutor. And all you're going to find out is, you mean to tell me this is called effortless effort?
Yes, it is. It is. But now, is that an automatic?
Yes.
For everyone?
Yes.
What about the ones who don't experience that?
They will move eventually. I promise you. This is like the Father and the Son. There is no failure in God trusting Himself to bring this through to the forefront of consciousness. If you worry, don't worry about it. If you're anxiety, don't anxiety about it. But if it's anxiety and worry, you know now that you're on the right path, or supposedly the pathless path. I'm trying to tell you something, honey, that just bake your cake, drink your liquor straight, and walk the straight path. I'm telling you, this was one of the greatest reliefs of no struggle. Don't have to work no more. Lay down my axe and my hammer. I put it to you like this when I said, I'm gonna quit. If you're in a block building, 50 feet thick roof, all walls and floor, 50 feet thick cement.
With only a saw.
I always used to have a hammer.
No,
only with a saw.
Later on.
Only a saw and a table. How would you get out? Most people said, I saw my way out. No, you can't do that with cement, concrete. I don't have no choice. I'm stuck. Here's the key. You take that saw and saw that table in half. Wisdom. And two halves make what? A hole. You go out through that hole.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
Okay. Since Chris says this, that Kevin, her son, told her this morning that he just lets the thoughts play out, recognizing where he was and where he is now. Now that's really simple, isn't it?
For him, and
that works for him.
Yeah.
So it's different for every person. Everyone finds their own way, I think. Buzz says this.
Remember, Jesus said He was the way.
Yeah.
There you go, Buzz. Go ahead, Buzz.
I used to think everything was contaminated and have chest pains.
Yeah.
I've stopped worrying about it for the most part.
Yes, Christ taught.
It caused too much suffering. I still wash my hands a lot, though. That's okay, Buzz.
You know, Buzz, I'm going to tell you about a crazy one that happened to me.
Before you do that. Last night, you made me think of it, Buzz. Last night when I lay in bed, a lot of times when I get in bed, especially if I go to bed late and I don't feel sleepy, I often worry about, am I going to fall asleep soon enough so that I can be refreshed the next day? So last night was different for me, kind of like that prayer. It was being prayed. This was being said through me last night. I'm not going to even think about whether or not I'm going to be refreshed in the morning. I don't care. And when I did that, when that was done, when that was said and done, I went to sleep. But I have had nights where I would really lay there trying to go to sleep and never go to sleep because I was trying too hard to go to sleep. And so not caring actually helped me to go to sleep. So I understand thoroughly what you're saying, Buzz.
There was a man in South Carolina, and Marion and Mullins came up to me in one of my sessions down there. He said, Reverend Sawyer, then you can bear this. He said, Reverend Sawyer, I got a question. I said, what is it? He said, I need deliverance. I said, from what? Oh, he said, I remember that. I want you to pray for me, Reverend Sawyer, that I stop picking boogers. I said, what?
This is a true story.
True. Yeah. Now, some of them came up to me, and some of the ladies come up to me and asked me some of the most crazy things about their husband in the bedroom, and I just won't say nothing about that.
Yeah. But and then there was one guy. Every time he got a revelation from God, he would do this.
He tricked like you're having a conniption, a seizure. And I said, do what? He said, I want you to pray for him. I said, well, I went on to accommodate him. Lord, I ask you to stop this man from picking boogers, like that. And that was it. And he went off. He come back the next session. He said, Reverend Sawyer, he said, I got something to tell you. I said, what is it? He said, I don't pick as many boogers as I used to.
I only pick a few now.
Yeah, only a few. Woo! I said,
oh, my Lord, that's terrible.
The grossness of the mind activity and the thoughts and the memories of the PTSD is an indication of you hitting the mark.
Yes.
These opposites are your asset. They are the absolute answer to your question statement. Huh? I'm running out of air.
Well, then stop.
I'm trying to put it all in one place.
All right, let me finish. Let me read this a little more. And I started it, but he said this awareness deepens gradually on the cellular level. I keep saying this because I want you guys to realize that it is a deepening that's happening perpetually. Not it happens and then it's over.
Yeah,
it's a perpetual deepening. And then he says on the breathing level, the heart level, seeing level, hearing level, touching level, aroma level. Then he said the thinking level will be the last to fall because it always overstates its importance and represses the other sources. So you must practice ignoring it.
Okay. Help me read this. The thought, who am I, will destroy all other thoughts, and like the stick used for stirring
the burning
pyre, it will itself in the end get destroyed. Then there will arise self-realization. The stronger self-realization. Now, I'll tell you something else. I want to say this to you because I see it. There is the facing of the Red Sea. There's all kinds of reaction that comes. Moses, how to the pure self, to God, how am we going to get across this? The water is too deep.
And some of us are facing Red Seas right now.
And the Lord and Moses is saying the same thing, even though God done brought him from Egypt all the way up to the Red Sea, thousands of them.
Yes.
And after God did all that he did to get them free, they come up with this place. He done dropped us. He done let us down. They went through that I don't know how many times. And you have, I have, and will always. Yep. Goes the rod of Aaron. You carried the rod down through your solar plex, burning with fire. It says, stand still and see the blessings of God, salvation of God, the enlightened self, the true self, the pure self, the I am self come forth. All of a sudden, you throw your hands up, you can't take no more. Done had my last cup of coffee and I ain't got no more to chase it with. I can't get across here. All of a sudden, the water and the wind start blowing. The wind start blowing and the water begin to open up. Now, let me tell you something, baby. He didn't keep the next body of water that was open was the Jordan. And that was after Israel got to a certain place where they ceased to exist. The whole thing of the wilderness is designed by God to wipe out everything
that is not you.
That is not the real self.
Yes.
The whole thing of these reactions, here come.
Yes.
These things are reacted in us that y'all mentioned online. They are telling you that they're dying out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all and to all who are enlightened.
Listen. And this is the thing. Most of us would say, well, I wish it would hurry up and die. But I remember...
That's one of the preachers.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
I want to, and I'm saying this in all respect of my mother-in-law. She was a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But the doctors said that she would probably not live for another month.
Yes, it will. Mm-hmm. That's what you said.
Mom lived about 5 more months.
Put her in this, what is that rest place we put her where they supposed to have it, something wrong with it, and if they do, they
because she couldn't die until it was the time for her to die.
She tried and could not. We tried and could not die her for her. And I'm gonna tell you what locks this thing in.
It dies in its own time. And there's an expiration time for it to die.
Buzz,
yes.
I'm telling you guys, little buzzes. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna take my hat off to all of you. Let me tell you something. Absolute. When I found out by revelation of knowing that when my mama tried to die and could not.
Mm-hmm. At first she was trying not to, and then she was so sick that she was trying to.
Signed the pink slip. I went over to her house. I got a call 2 times. One was that the stove was smoking, and the next time we went over there, high pursuit, flashing lights, almost looked like we had to call the police. Flying, old boy said, like a bat out of hell. Went over there, knocked on the door. Mama, one, she done left the eye on and went to sleep. The next one, she was in the bathroom when the nurse knocked on the door, and she got up and didn't know whether to answer the door or stay on the stool. She made a mess with blood from one end of the house to the other. Honey, we went through that with her, and we had to clean that up. I'm telling you, God was there. You say, well, how? I don't care, but he was. He was there in her, as her, watching, doing it when she did it, and us going and finding it. I'm telling you, I see God. I'm telling you, I hear God out there. I'm telling you, I hear your pure self. I'm telling you, I see this part that we saying now is the part that where they showed me how to see God and everything. When a crisis come up, you the reason why you're seeing God.
And
God, I'm telling you,
woo, are you popping?
I done pop. I'm pop.
You're popping. Okay. Hold it for a second. So God is constantly appearing, but never seen.
You're gonna pop me again, huh?
And constantly appearing, never seen, because he's cloaked by that is looking.
I wish everybody that started out with us hearing this from the beginning to end of anything would hear this morning. This is the settlement. I settle your dust. I settle your case right here this morning.
Yes.
God will settle your dust for you.
Yeah.
God will unaddict you. Addiction. He will addict you and unaddiction you.
Okay.
That's right. I'm not talking nasty. I'm just telling you.
It just kind of sounded
I
nasty.
know it did, but I'm saying I'm trying to say he will addict you and unaddict you.
Just
I'm trying
leave
to.
it alone.
Okay. Now y'all gonna make something out of that
Just
like she
leave it
did.
alone.
Addiction. I'm talking about he will unaddiction you as you are unaddiction. The addictions or the PTSDs is a sign, wonder, and a miracle. Because under normal conditions, if you had not known what you know now, you would have went berserk. Berserk, what do you call it? Dessert, apple, peaches, pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Fall on the floor and repent from telling a lie. But you, at the same time, darling, I'm telling you, you don't have to pray no more.
You don't have to, but you can.
You can.
Yes.
God is your prayer, praying through you 24/7.
Yes. And so what Vincent said, he prayed that prayer again this morning to remove what is not true. That's the deeper self praying that.
Talk to me, girl.
It's being prayed.
Ooh.
That's not the self that's afraid of dying that's praying that prayer.
Is anybody out there?
The self
please.
that's afraid of dying would dare not pray that prayer.
Woo.
But it is that deeper self that is that God self that you are that's praying that you are being prayed. You're being prayed.
Honey, it's like this. There's one that sowed the seed.
Oliver said I'm a little giddy.
A little giddy.
I am, Oliver. That's true.
A little giddy. What that mean?
A little silly this morning.
Oh, okay.
Sissy says to practice ignoring, not fighting the thoughts and reactions helps. It dissipates with lack of attention. That's true. That is true. Judy says God is in everything. It is impossible for God to be absent from anything.
Look out, girl. I'm gonna tell the boss man to give you a raise.
And not only is God in everything, he is everything. It is everything. Vincent said this. It is said you can't see the subatomic because the moment you observe the state has changed. That's the cellular level that I'm speaking. Oh, that's good, Vincent. That's good. Let me read one more time. It is said you can't see the subatomic because the moment you observe, the state has changed. Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
You guys ever heard of a steak called a tomahawk?
A steak.
Yeah,
like
meat.
A piece of
meat. Yeah.
Beef.
Yeah, beef. Tomahawk.
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. But what about
what
it?
We're talking, and tomahawk and that kind of steak are real expensive.
Yeah, like the Wagyu steak.
Wagyu steak. This that we're speaking is in that category.
Well, if you say that, then according to what our scriptures say in the Bible, it says meat is for those who are mature.
For those that are mature. There. Bless your heart. You're finally knowing, speaking from your heart. You are heart people.
Yes. I
don't want to say it any other way. And you are the heart of God.
People. Yes. And you're tired of being jerked around emotionally.
Yes. Yes.
That's the bottom line. You're just tired of being jerked around by your emotions and your thoughts.
All right, here's another one. Okay, you ready? Grab hold, put your hands on your seatbelts and hold tight. You'll find many of the brick and mortar religious side, you don't want to keep confessing, I'm a sinner saved by grace. That is removed. You don't want to go around with the awareness that, and the question, since you walk this path, I wonder if I'm there or not. I wonder if I'm seeing it correctly. I'm trying to touch everything that each one of us in different categories, different ones in the sensual, finite self. I want to touch everything that you would ever have to encounter in this path, because I'm
Yeah.
finding God. I am finding God in every last one of us, one of you.
Yeah. And in
From
it,
the Oliver to the people down to the hill, from the hill to the
we're
Kellys.
even finding God in every event,
Glory be to God.
every happening.
Glory, glory, glory. This is something.
It is. It is.
I could give you some sugar.
Well, you can. Give me right
No, I want the real sugar.
there. Yeah. You was something else.
A tisket, a tasket, what's inside my basket? A different kind of shredded wheat, and muffin is the name.
Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Vincent says, careful of things you say. I do believe that the power of life and death, even over your own life, is in your words and expressions. And it's in your words and expressions because that's where your beliefs speak. You speak your beliefs, and that's why it has power.
Here's the deal. And you heard me say it bears repeating itself. It bears a little bit of redundancy. What if you didn't have a mouth? You're blind. What if you didn't have a hands and legs like I've seen some of them and you couldn't communicate? How would you enter in through this path?
Yes.
God is the ram in the bush. Hallelujah. You know what? I want to put this thing, please, through a test. I want to take the most difficult, extreme situation that a being of physicality can get in that would interfere with him finding out this walkless path.
Is there anything that can interfere?
Nothing.
Nothing can.
Don't even have to worry about it. Some preacher said one time, if a baby come in this world and he don't get Jesus as Savior, it's going to hell.
Which is ridiculous.
I would say to that, the hell with what you said.
Anyway, can you get off that for a second?
Yeah, I'm off.
This is a young man by the name of Marcus Thompson. I'm trying to remember you, Marcus. He said, I'm Gary Thompson's son. Gary Thompson. I used to attend your church as a little boy. I love you guys. I'm trying to remember.
What?
Gary Thompson.
Location of geographical location where you are and where you were then.
Give us some clues
where you were living then.
As to your dad, Gary Thompson.
Yeah.
I think I know, but I'm not real sure. So give me some clues, sweetie.
What?
I'm glad you're on here with us.
Church
glad you're with us.
As a little boy. Seemed like I remember something like that. I feel it. Lord have mercy. This is wonderful. This is great. You know, I had a guy to meet me.
Oh, yeah. Kim says that was Uncle Gary. That's right. I think we were out that Sunday when he gave his testimony and passed right there in the service.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
We know
his
who
daddy
you are, baby.
died right there in the church.
Yeah, we know who you are.
Yes, he did. Lord,
we know exactly who you are, Marcus.
Bless my bloomers off. Lord, have mercy. Lord Jesus. Boy, I'll come on and slap you down.
I think Pastor David was ministering that
Yes,
Sunday.
he was. The man died. Yes, he did.
Yeah, gave his testimony.
Oh, Lord Jesus. You done messed me up here, boy.
And Kim said that's her Uncle Gary.
Yes, that's him.
In essence, yes.
God almighty.
Yes. Now we remember. Yes.
Y'all don't, you're messing me up.
So,
over here.
Marcus.
Oh, Jesus, you messed me up now.
Young man, how old are you now?
Oh,
and this is such a blessing for us to hear from you.
God, I tell you what, I get out to ring the bell on this one. I'm telling you, you rung my bell this morning. Lord have mercy. Oh, you know, I had a man to meet me at Lowe's. I really didn't recognize him, but he walked up to me. He said, years ago, back when I was 13, I was lifting weights and competitive lifting and was trained by a man named Jack King. And he walked up to me and said, didn't you used to lift weights or something like that long years ago? I said, yeah. He said, I remember you back there during that time. And I told him all about it. He said, yeah, this is exactly what you just did. Oh God, you just done,
Thank you, Marcus,
you buckled my
for letting
knees
us know
there.
you were here,
Oh,
sweetheart.
Lord, have
Thank you
mercy.
so much.
Jesus. I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all he done messed me up now. I watch television and I'm looking at these dog rescue situations. I can't take much of that.
No.
I've seen the worst cases, and I sit there and I cry so much. And then when I see people sitting on the street and they can't. Oh Lord have mercy. I don't even like to talk about it. I don't. I used to. I don't know what's going on.
So
with
why
me.
did you bring it up?
I'm bringing it up is because as you flow into awareness, the depthness. I mean, go to the extreme of your awakening, finding out. There's some your senses going to change.
They will. They will.
You become where you were tenderhearted, you become tender. Where you were hard, you be softened. You become flexible. I used to like to take wood and put it in water and let it get so wet that I could bend it.
Can I read this a little bit, and then we almost ending?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you have this, I want to say, fixation of who you are, you're on a what Father Rohr says, you're on a solid viewing platform.
I like that.
Apart from the usual level of the small self.
Yeah.
Where you can see things as God sees them.
That's what I'm trying to say. You said it.
And this is the beginning of non-dual thinking and is the mind of Christ that's mentioned in 1 Corinthians 2:16. Or if you don't want to go the biblical way, it's the mental revolution that leads to an utterly new self. And then he says, when this happens to you, you are now a living paradox.
There you go.
one and the same time, utterly connected to everybody else in a compassionate and caring way, and absolutely free to be your own self. Your identity now comes from within. You will want to love and serve others, but you don't use them or need them to define yourself, either positively or negatively. I tell you, this stuff is rich.
You are returning to the uncarved wood, uncarved block of wood. Yes. You're returning.
Yes, what I call a blank slate.
That's right.
Now we got to finish, and I want to say,
can I show them this little book? Here's a little book that some of this stuff is in. Some of the stuff is in that we're talking about. If you can find it, it may be in print, maybe have to go on Amazon. It's a little thin book.
Pastor and I've got so many books. We just every now and then we just pull them. And Vincent said that bell went right straight through him.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I feel it.
Then let me say this too. Last Sunday, I don't know what happened with the internet or with Facebook specifically. I found out later that they blocked the video because they felt I had some music on, but I didn't have any music on. And when I went back to YouTube, I found out that somehow or another, it had gotten attached to our video. White Christmas by some guy, Shaky Somebody, and it was copyrighted. So I don't know what happened. It was one of those flukes. And I apologize for you guys who are watching us through Facebook. Hopefully it won't happen again. I'm not sure why it happened the last time. But as Jill said, please go to YouTube and like and like the video and subscribe if you haven't. And that way we will, it'll help our algorithm. So when people search for this kind of information, they'll find us quickly. And so that's how it helps us. And lastly, Vincent says, I've seen a culture ring a bell a few times before the meditation, and that resonates with me. Yes.
Okay.
We love you guys so much, and I want to make sure that you guys continue to give. We know the Christmas season is coming, but we really do need your
Yeah, things are running a little tight right now for
continued
us.
support. So if you would, please give. And thank you so much, Vincent,
And we did see Miss Leslie on that this morning. I thought we did.
yes, and thank you, Vincent, for your donation you did send on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much, sweetheart. We appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. Those of you who have been blessing us and,
Mm-hmm.
and sending your tithes and offerings into Cornerstone,
Mm-hmm.
that has helped us. And I mentioned this on Tuesday. We really do need you to continue to do that because we've got subscriptions that are coming up for the first of the year for StreamYard, which is about $240. And I think that needs to be covered. And there's some other things that we need to get and do so we can continue bringing these sessions to you. So if you would, we appreciate you taking the time to donate.
Our new brick and mortar has become our home, right where we are. And it just like it, if we had one outside of the house, we'd have to take care of two. But just
you know,
one.
You said something Tuesday night that you saw us back in some brick and mortar.
Yeah.
But you know what I felt like it was?
What?
A studio.
Oh yeah.
I felt like it was actually a studio.
Somebody mentioned to me about the reunion just for a moment of a second, a building or a place where we could meet and everybody come together for an anniversary.
Right. Then that would be good. But I'm talking about something on a more permanent level, a studio where we wouldn't just be doing it in our home, but we could actually have some real shows and things. And we might even have Oliver come in and do his show in one of our studios. That's right.
We could do it together. That's right. Thank you so much.
And we love you guys. Pastor Norman, I know, is probably gone because he has service at 11. We thank you so much for coming to see us today. And we will be back on Tuesday night at 7, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Well,
okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we will.
We will. Yeah,
okay.
We will.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the financial assistance. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.